your ball in the trees and then you live out the park. But if you've got a little time, then come and spend it with us. 'Cause now you're listening to the Rough Cut.
Hello, and welcome down to the as of yet award-winning Rough Cut Golf podcast, and we are beaming to you around the world from Not End Simulator Room, as we have just had a Quest mini-series event. So if you are watching us and you are unfamiliar with our surroundings, that is where we are currently at. I am joined by Mick and I am joined by Jacob, who have been here filming the festivities and the fun for the competition today. How are we, gentlemen?
Absolutely wonderful.
Excellent.
That's great news.
Really good.
Today we have got quite a bit to cover. There's been a fair bit going on in the world of golf, but also we have the PGA Championship coming up this week, the second major of the year. We're going to be talking about who we think are going to win, and Jacob's statistic-backed prediction builder is going to be back as well.
Now, I think that Jacob's sadistic
prediction-backed statistical formula.
I think that Jacob's segment needs a better name, so I'm challenging you to, over the course of the next hour of the recording of this podcast, come up with a much better name for it.
Yep.
I think that's good. And by the way, if you are new to the podcast and you're not familiar with this, it's Jacob's statistical demonic segment, which predicted that Brian Harman was going to win the Open last year. So it's well worth sticking around to understand and to have the knowledge of who's going to triumph at Valhalla.
Speaking of triumphing, speaking of overcoming insurmountable odds, speaking of going out there and just shooting the lights out, speaking of just grinding yourself to the top of a leaderboard, here at Not End today, Peter Finch at the third.
Third.
Third Quest mini-series event of the year, Peter Finch shot a really, really respectable level par, which was good enough for a first place finish. Peter Finch is the Not End PGA Lancs champion.
Thanks. I don't really feel you gave that the build-up that it deserves, to be honest with you.
Okay, so now you do a version of it.
I'm just the best. You know what I mean? I just came, I dominated, finished tied first after bogeying the last for an outright win.
Don't tell them that.
So, yeah, I mean, we're having these mini-series events in the build-up for Quest for the Open that we're sponsoring, trying to get some more local pros involved. It was a really nice day here in Not End. There was no rain. It was a bit blustery and windy.
Very.
Got off to a bit of a shocking start, a little bit nervous, but I clawed my way back, fought back, ended up shooting a 69 and finishing at level par. I didn't think that was going to be good enough. I thought I was going to be quite a bit back, but I've got into the clubhouse and it has transpired that I'm joint first with David Chacklady, very good golfer, and Ryan O'Neill, another very good golfer. So that is my tied first win of 2024. And you know what? I'm just hungry for more.
And no one can take that away from you.
You know what I mean? I am just a starved person going to a Chinese buffet and I'm just like, more. Give me that dim sum. That is what I'm feeling right now.
Okay, so Give Me That Dim Sum t-shirt's coming very soon to a merch store near you. It's Peter Finch's face with a trophy and it says, Give Me That Dim Sum.
My face on a dim sum.
I'd buy it.
I just... You know what? It's just nice to know that the game is trending in the right direction. We're not going to spoil too much because there was some twos and fros and some crazy things happening in the last 5 days. And there's going to be a Quest for the Open video, which is going to be coming out next week.
On Monday
next week. And yeah, you got to watch it. Really, really crazy week that we've done so much. I mean, we started at Stan Golf Club, played really well there. Went to Close House, filmed with Lee Westwood, and then came back for...
Saw the Northern Lights.
Well, we did.
Yeah, I was asleep.
Honestly, if you've been sleeping under a rock like Mick was this past week, you may not have known that the Northern Lights. If
you're an Instagram user, you would have seen something.
If you just Instagram, Facebook, MySpace, anything really, even if you're one of those people who still reads like a newspaper, like you would have seen.
Or like a physical one.
Yeah, like a physical
You
paper
hold it
newspaper.
you hold it and turn the pages and stuff.
Like
Yeah.
one of them. You've
Makes
got
a
to hold
noise
one,
when you
hold it out.
turn the page.
Aren't they
The-
for wrapping fish and chips in?
No, the day after. They don't even do that anymore. Just in case the ink
Yeah.
leaks.
I don't want Piers Morgan's face on my cod. You know what I mean?
No one wants that. No one wants his face on anything.
Yeah. Have you been loving Under Rock?
Yeah, even if you have, you may have seen the Northern Lights if you just peeked out. But it was the biggest coronal mass ejection for 40 years or something stupid. Anyway, the sky was lit up. We were at Close House in the middle of the golf course, staying at the pavilion there. Amazing, stunning views, and it was just a once in a lifetime experience. Yeah. And then we came back here and won an event at Knot End. So
Maybe that's what inspired you.
It's hard to tell what was more impressive.
Yeah, I struggle really.
You know what I mean? Grand cosmic event or me shooting at 69 at Knot End.
Yeah,
Grand Cosmic Event or the Northern Lights?
just as spectacular.
Maybe that's. We are looking still for that hashtag. Maybe that's it. Northern Lights. Northern Lights.
Or shooting the Northern Lights
Shoot
out.
the Northern Lights. I kind of like "Don't Stop Believing" as well.
Yeah,
I was singing that a lot this weekend.
It's going to feature very heavily in your round from at Stand.
"Don't Stop Believing,"
Yeah, because you reference it quite a lot.
but we don't have the rights to that song.
Yet.
Not yet.
But if you are in the band journey and you like this podcast, just send us an email. It's the emails, and we'll use the song. Thank you.
Emails.
I don't want to commit someone else's email. I'm not giving them mine.
Wow, this has been a long day. What else has been going on? So we've had, first of all, the Make the Cut video out, which it's gone down okay. Didn't play my best stuff. It was a while ago that we filmed that.
Hard day. Very, very windy.
Very, very windy day. But the main story really from the Myrtle Beach Classic, as far as I'm concerned, was that George and Wes Bryan were playing, fellow YouTube brethren.
Yep.
They both missed the cut.
They did. Yeah.
However, Matt Atkins, who got through at the queue from Myrtle Beach, which I played in, made the cut.
Yeah. Very good.
He finished T40 something, didn't
46, I believe.
he? Yeah, that's all right.
Which is great.
Pocketed a nice 12 grand, something like that.
Ooh, 12 grand.
That'll do.
That's almost as much as I won today.
Yeah, I know, just.
But the best thing for me about that is that it kind of justifies a little bit the Q event and like what it was. The person who won that went through and made the cut.
Sorry, I've just got this picture in my mind of you two like coming together for the queue at Myrtle, and then you've gone one way to not end and finished T1 and won like 400 quid, and he's gone and finished T46 at Myrtle Beach, and just,
You know what? And I prefer it this way.
yeah, as do I. There's character.
Listen, you can
There's a bit of grit.
You can take your Myrtle Beaches, and it's great to go there, but it's not real life. If you want real golf, you come here to Knot End on a 30-mile-an-hour blustery day in the middle of the week. That's proper golf.
Which, by the way, if you want to have some fun around a golf course, I think if you played it on a really nice day, because it's a par 69, it's not super long. I think it'd be good fun around here.
I've never been here when it's been less than 30 miles an hour wind.
Okay, well, it still might be fun.
We're in a funnel, but I
That's
mean,
true, yeah.
That's part of this golf course. Like the whole point of the course right here on the sea is that it's gonna be windy.
And we can see the sea from here.
We can.
Outside of these
We can
doors.
see Fleetwood as well.
That's the River Wyre running out there, the Wyre estuary kind of around there.
Oh, that's so cool. If you're from the Northwest, you know all about that. But if you're not, you have no idea what we're talking
I've got to be honest, I don't think many people know about this place. It's in a very weird spot.
First time I've ever been. First time I've ever heard of it.
Hidden gem. Hidden gem. Some would say hidden gem. Some would say...
We don't like hidden gems.
Some
on
would
this.
say best golf course in the Northwest.
No, I don't like hidden gems, and I don't like the name hidden gems, and I don't like Secret Beer Garden.
Oh,
Yes.
no, I don't like that one
Yeah,
bit.
I'm with you on that one.
Stop advertising it.
Yeah.
Stop.
Keep it a secret then.
Don't want people there.
Get it off TikTok.
Like the whole point of the secret is that no one else knows.
Yeah.
Take it off your A board, put it inside, and if people discover it for themselves, great.
I mean, you probably don't remember at all, but the pub that I took you to when you came to Hereford, when you did the fairway down, was called the Secret Garden. So you must have hated that.
I did. I almost stopped at the door.
Okay, fair enough.
I was like, I can't do this. But it was a very good burger.
It was a good burger.
I do remember it.
Good.
I don't
Do you
remember
remember
that
Do you
part.
remember Mick?
You were in
walked
bed. You were in bed.
No, he came. We walked from my house.
We walked... Oh, we did.
Yeah.
That place was great.
It was good.
It was good. It was like, it was...
Just not very secret.
Yeah, it did feel like we had to walk you live in... Now, I come from a suburb of the Big Smoke. So like, I want to see pavements and streetlights.
Oh, you're not getting that.
And the walk from your house to that pub was 0 pavements and 0 streetlights.
Yeah.
So I did feel like I was going on an adventure. But then when we got to the pub, it was enjoyable.
Yeah, it's a good stumble home, that one.
Are your estate grounds lit up though?
For God's sake, I don't know why. I don't want this to become a thing on the podcast. Like,
We've not told you about this, have we? We discovered that Mick has an estate
I did not know this.
full of copper beaches.
An estate car?
No. Well, as in
An actual estate?
As in an estate in Harrow.
Oh,
Yeah, unbelievable. We didn't know this.
no, you kept that quiet, didn't you?
Yeah, didn't want to let us know that. It's
Those
fine.
humble upbringings, not so much.
well, listen, my parents worked very hard.
Don't worry, mate.
Well, on that breaking news.
Yeah.
Also, Chris Gotterup.
Yeah.
This is someone I've never heard of. Actually, won the Myrtle Beach Classic and is now in the PGA Champ.
Yeah, it's a nice little win of that one, isn't it?
Yeah, he got an exemption to that, but he didn't get invited to the other two.
Oh.
So he won't get into the Masters. He won't get into the Open. He won't get into the US Open unless he does very well at the PGA Championship.
Keep working, Chris. You're not there yet.
Yeah, you can do it, son.
Keep trying, Chris.
Yeah.
One day,
on.
you're gonna
One
get
day
there.
you'll win something that people care about, like the
Coming from
Not
someone who
10
just
mini
watched-
Quest mini series
yeah,
event.
coming from someone who just watched someone win at Not 10.
Do you want to get into the PGA Champs?
I
hold
don't
on.
think so.
I'm just hearing from the. No, you don't.
No.
you don't.
If I'd have won it on my own, outright.
Yes.
Hold on. No, Mick would have bought you McDonald's on the way home, but
So now you're just going to buy me KFC instead.
no, you're buying
Thank
us
you.
McDonald's. Great. Really looking forward to it.
Why am I buying McDonald's?
First of all, you're our boss.
Okay, for a start, I bought you 2 breakfasts today. 2 breakfasts, and when is it my job to feed you throughout the day? It's
Yeah,
just a work
if
day.
you take me away from a place where I can easily access food myself, then I feel like it's your job to make sure I don't die of starvation.
I never heard of a packed lunch.
That's true.
Sorry, on the 9th. Sorry, Pete. Just got to eat my sandwiches. Got cheese and
You
Marmite.
didn't even come out onto the golf course.
No, I was busy making the next.
You swanned out there for 2 holes.
Busy making the next piece of fire content to go on the main channel.
Which is this is now going to have to be like a proper 36 hole.
It
Quest
is
for the Open.
No, what it means is that you're the like middle holes at stand where you were like really really good will be like the main focal point, and then we'll zoom past all the bit where you played very average, and then we'll get straight to here where you win the tournament.
Very average. How do you feel about that?
Did you birdie the last at
It's
stand?
pretty hurtful.
Yeah,
if I'm
it's
being honest
nice,
with
isn't
you.
it?
Did you birdie the last at stand?
Of course.
Yeah.
What happened on the last here?
I didn't.
Okay, there we go. So
You can decide what
we'll
you did.
see that in the edit on Monday.
Yep.
Unbelievable. Blades Brown.
Yes,
That can't be his real name.
that's his real name. Now, don't
He had to be a golfer with that first name.
100%. Blades Brown, and yes, he uses a bladed iron. He's the second 16-year-old in 2 weeks to make the cut at a tour event.
Oh, they're getting a bit good now, aren't they, the kids?
That's just.
Yeah, so Chris Kim was the last guy to do it. He did the Byron Nelson.
It is kind of scary. Like the actual depth of skill and talent now is just getting deeper and deeper and younger.
Silly.
It's kind of scary. Like you've always had really, really good junior players throughout the history of golf, like young Tom Morris.
Listen, it's in his name. His name is
He
Young.
literally
His
called
first
it.
name's Young.
But
His dad, old, named him Young.
I'm 90% sure that is not the case.
not on the birth certificate,
I'm not a
though.
historian of golf. I'm pretty sure that is not what happened.
I've read Tommy's honour. Tommy's his middle name.
His first name is Young.
His
Mr.
first name's
Old.
Young. Yeah.
And
Well,
Mr. Young.
Blades Brown, congratulations for making the cut, and Chris Kim last week as well.
Yeah.
It's just kind of incredible. Like, what were you doing at 16 years old?
Wow. How long ago was that? That was 10 years ago for me.
Like, I'm just.
I would have been...
Oh my God. It was
I
16
still at
years
school?
ago for me. It was more than 16 years
Is that
ago.
year 11?
I don't know.
I think it is. I think it is. I think it's just
16.
before you go to college.
Yeah, so-
I was making life decisions, I believe, that I probably regret now. But, you know.
Life decisions.
Yeah, he's a eunuch. I was in a really, really kind of like very average band and trying to juggle running competitively and writing music at the same time.
You see, that's where you went wrong, because like, you should only just been playing music in the band. Like, you don't need to juggle.
It's a very special band. Oh, you're so good.
Oh my god,
You're so good.
So funny.
So when did you take up golf? And at 16, how good were you?
6 years ago, and
God, you come on well.
Bloody hell.
I've
And now you've
accelerated
won.
quickly.
Look at you.
Do you know what's mad? Did you start the golf channel before you took up golf?
It's called foresight.
It's impressive that.
Oh, we're in a foresight.
We're in
studio.
the foresight studio, yeah.
Yeah, I would have been playing at 16. Well, yeah, so went to college. Would have been playing off like 7, 8 handicap, something like that.
Oh, okay.
I didn't actually start golf until relatively late, because I always wanted to play football. So
Were you? Well, we have heard this story before. You played? Did you? I thought you played in goal, but did you play midfield?
no, I was
Up front.
kind of up front. Yeah,
Oh.
I was a deep line forward.
To all the football managers out there.
Like a Havertz.
I was basically Bobby Firmino before he even came on the
Yeah,
scene.
before he was cool.
Yeah, but
Same teeth as well, which is good.
yeah, I got them veneers. Went over to Turkey when I was young. Got them veneers.
Yeah. Night golf there as well. They got good night golf.
But-
Veneers, hair transplant.
Head transplants.
Remove your head and have a new one fitted.
Well, just if you do get that email, please do not get a head transplant.
Doesn't
It-
work.
It will not work. Not last time I checked. So yeah, I was kind of 7, 8 handicap. Went to college and got down to 3 before I turned pro, like 18. So
You were pretty good.
You were good. You went.
I was fine.
You went Blades Brown.
I
good.
wasn't Blades Brown, no.
You went Chris Kim.
Maybe if you had a better name. Maybe if you were like.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think.
God, mum, dad, come on.
I think you've got.
What would you have as a golf related first name?
Young.
Young Finch.
Young birdie.
You
Finch.
sound like a rapper.
Birdie Finch.
I'd say birdie or eagle,
Yeah,
albatross.
you couldn't do negative stuff, could you?
No.
Shank Finch.
Like Adam Shank.
Yeah, Adam Shank.
Yeah, he's struggling.
That's
yeah,
a tough
so
one.
Bogey Finch. You're just not.
No. Well, and that you'd probably get called in from social services. We hear you've called your child
Bogey. Yeah. Yeah.
Lost ball Finch.
Reload.
3 off the tee. Warwick.
Professional too. Professional ball.
Now, let's talk about something which I'm very excited about, which is that I have been a little bit down on the form and progress of a one Rory Mcilroy until this weekend just gone, when it looked as if a very hungry, very composed, very ruthless Rory Mcilroy is back. How much did you watch? How did you feel about his game? Is this the perfect precursor to Valhalla?
I'm delighted to say that I watched it all.
Yeah, I watched a lot. I did watch a lot.
Yeah, it was good. It was nice because there was a very clear kind of storyline as well, because it was Rory versus Xander. Like, there was no one realistically going to get close to him on that golf course.
No.
So it was good to like sit down to see them battle it out and to see Rory just go absolutely nuclear.
Yeah.
Like 8 under through 8 holes in the middle of the round to just decimate Schauffele. And I kind of felt for Xander as well, because he had a mini implosion and he has got this tag now of just being unable to close events. Like, we were at Close House, and after the second round, it was however many clear. And I remember saying to these guys that he's not going to win.
Yeah, he's actually secured his fate by playing too well on the first 2 days.
He's not far enough ahead.
Yeah, he needs to be like 10 ahead going into the last round to make sure he wins.
Yeah, the putter went really cold, didn't it?
It's just, I mean, we have this conversation a lot when we watch golf about commentators and some of the stuff that they say. And having done a little bit of that, I understand how hard and difficult that job is. And while I don't kind of agree with a lot of things that a lot of people say, when they were talking about him putting and just how tentative the putts are, like getting to the hole and they just got to drop over the edge, and you can see they're not holding their line, it's very evident. Like, it's just, he must have some scar tissue now going into last rounds. And not unlike Rory, Rory isn't a closer, like when you think about it, but he just took that tournament around a course he obviously enjoys and just absolutely smashed it. It was so good to see, like, vintage Rory. And he was holding putts and he was hitting great shots, and he was just the Rory of old, the one that we love, the one who was captain of my major picks team. I want him to be like this for Valhalla. Please, Rory, just keep it going. One more week. That's all I ask.
Now, so okay, We talked a little bit about kind of Rory's inability to win another major in the last 10 years.
10 years.
It has been 10 years since he won a major tournament. The last time he won, I believe, was
Valhalla.
at Valhalla, exactly 10 years ago. And when that happened, he had just gone back-to-back, which is the same thing that's happened just now. So do we think...
Yeah.
It's,
I mean, stars are somewhat aligning, I would say. I mean, I think because we've had so many years of this now of, like you say, it's 10 years of attempts for Rory to win again. And we've gone into sometimes he's gone in with not very good form, or sometimes he's playing pretty well. Sometimes he has won in the last 5 starts. So we've always had different sort of ways of him like coming into a tournament, and none of them have quite worked yet. So hopefully, maybe winning twice in a row, obviously winning with Shane at Zurich I think it's helped him a lot. He's clearly had a lot of fun. Yeah. All the videos that came out of him doing the karaoke and everything like that was a very different side to Rory that we've kind of seen in the past. But then he's obviously taken that into a place where he just loves to win. What's that? 4 now Wells Fargo's he's won his first ever time on the PGA Tour there. For me, it's so hard to say, but like I think this is the best build-up he has had for a major in a very long time. Yeah.
You said something at the beginning of the year, actually, Pete. You said, I think in order for Rory to win the Masters, he needs to go and win something else first.
Oh, he has to, yeah.
And I wonder if, this is his chance to kind of shake off the I can't win a major demon and then just go and try and annihilate Scotty for the next 2-3 years.
Well, I think we've seen something a little... We spoke about this coming in, actually, about how in the modern game, players do seem to go on little runs where they win a number of events in quick succession and maybe don't have that longevity of, the Tiger era, which is, to be honest, it ruined modern golf in many respects. Because Rory is one of the best players in the world, has been one of the best players in the world for, 20 years now. He's an exceptional, not 20 years, almost 20 years, an exceptional player. But you're always going to compare him to another exceptional player, and the most exceptional player of our generation is Tiger. And if you're not like consistently dominating, then it's almost like you're not being successful, like you're failing.
Yeah.
Rory has won 4 major championships. Even if he stops now, it's an incredible career. It's just the fact that the Masters is so set up for him, he should win it. But I think if he does get across the line of Valhalla, he wins the Open, US Open, he wins another one. It's that feeling and that momentum of saying, I can still do this. Yeah. I can still compete with the very best players in the world. The exciting thing for me about kind of Valhalla is we're presuming that Scotty Scheffler is playing. We think that the kid has been born.
We think. So. Yeah. Young Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah. At time of recording, young Scotty Scheffler, we believe, has arrived, although we don't know for sure. So we think he's going to be playing in the US PGA, so he's probably going to be favourite. Rory's obviously going to be up there. And then the next player who's just won as well is Brooks Koepka, who's going to be going into this. So it's shaping up to be a really good tournament.
Yeah.
Like it really, really is. And we'll get into the full preview in a moment, but it is great to have Rory back and for playing like that. We don't really speak about the LPGA too much.
We don't.
I personally don't watch enough of it to kind of have any real expertise. But I did watch a little bit this time because Sagstrom and Rozang were... I think Sagstrom was 13 shots clear of third place.
Yeah.
And
Not even
Rozang,
head and shoulders ahead. It was full body ahead.
it's like a completely different tournament.
Yeah.
And then Rozang won by 2.
Yeah.
It's an unbelievable
I've never
score.
seen a leaderboard like it.
Everyone else, just go home.
Especially
We're just going to play the last round ourselves.
Like, obviously, Nelly Corder's record ended.
Yeah.
Yeah, she finished like T7.
T7 she finished.
Yeah.
Awful. Try harder.
Must do better.
Yeah.
No, it was remarkable. I hadn't seen much of the first couple of days, and it was only on the third day that I had a look to see what was going on, and I was like, I had to refresh it and just like check that, make sure that this was correct. No one else's scores are coming through or something.
Maybe they haven't entered their scores on the app.
They're not on Blue
And
Golf.
we're still waiting for them. They're still waiting for
There's a couple of like rogue ones on par fives. It's just not been entered properly.
Yeah.
It's so weird. I mean, every now and again it does happen. Tiger at Pebble Beach, kind of classic example of someone who just completely blows away a field. But for two players to run away with it that much, that's kind of ridiculous. And it wasn't like an easy golf course.
No.
Like you can tell that by the
long.
rest of the scores.
Yeah.
Like those two were just in a completely different planet. So that was really, really cool to see. And again, like another story to kind of get involved with it, which is what we want in golf. You know, we want these stories, we want these kind of moments that we can talk about, the interest that we want to be built back up.
Yeah, I think the Nelly Korda thing, obviously she was close she equaled the record for most consecutive tour wins. But this would have been the one that would have put her ahead of, you know, I think it's actually, it might even have been Tiger or someone in one season to have won 5 or 6 in a row. But, you know, she equaled the streak. She didn't eclipse it, but
Still.
it just shows that one or two people go out and just have a day for 4 days in a row.
Dazer.
No matter how good you play, there's always potential for someone to go and kill it.
As I say, there's a lot of good golfers out there on every tour.
Yeah.
And it is good. It is good to be talking about this kind of this
Bye,
kind of
Simon.
stuff again.
He runs the PGA Links.
Because like I mean, at the moment, especially in the men's game, like there's so much negativity and there's so much kind of strife about that you just want like these storylines so it's positive and you can talk about them.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the kind of things that are kind of happening at the moment. Did you see Anthony Kim going off at Brandel Chambly?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, he went off on, but you were kind of thinking, oh, Anthony Kim's back. You know, he seems to be this changed person, even though we didn't really know what he was changing from. He was relaxed, he was happy with life, and he just absolutely unloaded on Brandel Chambly because Brandel kind of had not exactly a change of heart on kind of Liv and Piff and all the rest of it, but it was kind of like, we need to accept that this is happening. And then, like, obviously a lot of people who are critical of him kind of piled on and said, oh, you know, you're a hypocrite and all the rest of it. And then he chirped back, and then he's the lead broadcaster for Valhalla.
Oh.
And then Phil Mickelson weighed in. It's just that there's so much kind of negativity and there's just so much aggro that it's just putting people off.
Yeah.
Is Anthony Kim ever going to go and play in a major again?
I wouldn't have thought so. I can't imagine.
Is
so.
there like a future where he just comes back to the glory that everyone remembers, and then
It's such a long path to get to do that though for him now, isn't it? Because like, I mean, I dread to think what he is in the world rankings. He's not playing great golf on Live. I can't imagine someone's going to give him an invite because it will get slaughtered if they do. We spoke about major invites on the previous podcast, and whether it's good or bad that they do that is another matter. But I mean, it would be difficult for me to see him come play again in another major.
Yeah.
Almost impossible, I feel.
Yeah. I mean, for him to get in a major now, he'd have to go through kind of qualifying and and do all kind of things. So I don't really see it happening.
Open and like US Open qualifying is probably the only way he can do it, I reckon.
Yeah. But I don't really see him doing that. I don't really get an indication that he'd want to do that.
It's not in his sights.
So yeah, like I said, it's just good to have some good golf to talk about, some positivity at last.
Yeah,
next week.
and going into the PGA week, we get a little bit of an understanding of people's form. We get an understanding of kind of the golf course. I know, Jacob, you've done some deep dive research into who's going to actually win, and Jacob will predict the correct winner,
obviously,
because he has a 1 in the last 2 record, which is really good.
Thank you.
He predicted it correctly once in the last 2 predictions.
Yes.
This is why Mick doesn't do the stats.
However, I did do a little bit of research into the last PGA winners at Valhalla, and Rory Mcilroy, 2014, excellent, with a one shot lead over Phil Mickelson. Take that, Phil. 2000. I don't know if you've heard of this guy, Tiger Woods. He won in a playoff over someone I've never heard of.
Bob May.
Who the heck is that?
So Bob May was a PGA Tour pro. He won a few events. He was absolutely fine. But he stood up to Tiger. Ooh. Like he proper balled out against Tiger in the highest pressure when, this was in the era where everyone else would just crumble away whenever Tiger was at the top of the leaderboard. And Bob May just proper stood up. He had like a really funky putting stroke and it was great.
Love it.
He looked like your dad.
Oh.
He just looked like your dad, just like taking on Tiger Woods at a major.
Yeah, my dad would get dicked by Tiger Woods at a major, if I'm completely honest.
I think most would. Yeah.
Yeah. Who the heck's Mark Brooks? I've never heard of him.
So he won in 1996.
Yeah.
So that was pre-Tiger era. So as far as I'm aware, that's like
count.
It's kind of like medieval times. Like
Yes.
no one really knows what went on.
It's from
before
like
Tiger.
now from any Lancashire event. If you're not there, it doesn't matter.
There's an asterisk.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Phil Kelly wasn't playing, by the way.
Oh no! You shouldn't have said anything. Battered him.
So yeah, there's going to be an asterisk there. I don't remember this
Didn't
one.
fancy it, I heard.
I do. Didn't want to smoke.
Just won twice in a row. Didn't want it.
I don't know Mark Brooks. This isn't ringing a bell at all.
Kenny Perry.
Kenny Perry, I remember. Yeah.
I've heard the name. So, but that was a playoff.
That was a like a comedy film, wasn't it? When they went to Ibiza and were DJs.
Very good. Well done.
Kenny Perry.
Yeah.
Kenny Perry goes
Pretty
live.
sure, yeah.
Oh dear.
But it is always close. That's the thing is that, like a one-shot lead and then a playoff and then a playoff. I think the interesting thing is that like it is always close at the top of the leaderboard when the PGA goes to Valhalla. So we could see Scotty, Brooks and hopefully Rory battling it out. Let's go to a 3-man playoff. We should have had a 3-man playoff today. So you could have won outright.
We should have. Didn't stick around though, did they?
Yeah, they went home because they didn't want to actually get that.
They were scared.
Yeah, they didn't want to.
Terrified.
Do you not win on a technicality? Like,
From just still being here.
yeah.
You could stand on
Last man standing.
You could stand on all 3 positions on the podium, seeing as they're not here.
Gotta lie across them like a chaise longue.
Yeah, I'll collect his money and I'll give it to him. I'll send it to him.
Are we sponsoring these events? I think we could just take it. Just take it back.
Or
I
just
love my
not
money
give it
back,
to him.
thank
I'm going to win this money, so I'm just going to hold on to it.
Hold it in escrow. I think that's right. Wow, look at me using correct banking terms. They have changed Valhalla a little bit around this year. They've relaid the fairways, completely different grass from From
bent. So all the fairways were bent grass, and now it's zoysia grass now, which from research from what I've seen, apparently it's gonna. One of the big things is to help with drainage, and if it rains this coming week, then it should be fine. But the characteristics of this grass are that it will be fiery, so it's going to offer a little bit more rollout. The carry of drives, it's going to go a little bit further, and it's a change that the course has now seen over the last couple of years, I believe, and it will play a little bit more hot, which we were talking on the way. I'll get into when we do my predictions a bit later on, but it kind of may bring in more guys. It's kind of how way you want to look at it, because those longer hitters naturally at a PGA Championship venue is important, but distance off the tee has always mattered. But if it's playing a little bit fiery and it's playing a little bit hotter than it was before, those guys that only hit it 290, 295 off the tee and get that little bit of extra carry and a little bit extra yardage from rollout, it might bring them into the game a little bit. Valhalla as well, it's increased its yardage. It's going to play 7,609 yards, which, it's not...
That's two golf courses.
It's not short.
That's two golf courses.
That's not fun for me.
That's nothing, mate.
Oh, for you. Sorry, not end winner.
It needs to be longer.
Longer. Well, it probably will be next year or next time they play it.
Anything under 8,000 yards is it's not even a golf course anymore.
Gee, we're getting there though, aren't we?
Well,
it's not going to be long.
Pinehurst was pretty much there when we played it.
As a par 70.
But it does depend though. Like, again, one thing I do love about golf is that the length of a golf course doesn't always indicate how hard it's going to be. Like, you can make it just like a long old slog.
Yeah.
This week, on Friday, I'm playing at Stamford. I told you about this place, didn't I?
Notoriously difficult.
So Stamford, I
don't know.
I think it was 5,700 yards long.
Oh.
Honestly, I came off that golf course shattered.
Oh,
really?
real hilly boy.
It's unbelievably hilly. Like, if a green is straight in front of you, sometimes you've got to play 60 yards right to get even close to it.
Really?
It's
Wow.
bonkers.
Okay.
I think they should host the PGA there.
Bloody hell.
I think it would be tougher.
Is it like a mental slog? Is it a bit of a kind of...
Mental, physical, emotional.
Yeah.
It's all that.
Spiritual slog. You're sat there just praying for this hill to be over.
It's not like
Smash
true
it.
yardages. Like if you've got 150, it's actually like 180 because it's miles up.
And win. It could be anything.
Right, yeah.
You're just guessing.
Yeah. It's just a guessing game.
But one thing which isn't a guessing game is who's going to win the US
Yes,
PGA.
because-
I think it's time for Jacob to unveil
we can do it now.
the winner. Absolutely.
You get your laptop, and I'm going to get my laptop because just after you tell us who's going to win it, I'm going to tell us who's going to get the most points in our draft picks for 2024.
Of course, yeah.
Because this is the second major of the year, which means that there's points up for grab. You want as few as possible, remember. The Masters didn't go great for Peter Finch. The Masters went very well for me. So we'll find out. Once Jacob has told us who's going to win, I'll tell you who's going to get the most points.
And this one as well for our Masters pick, for our majors picks is actually quite important because it's a bigger field, 156 players. Those cut numbers can be high. So if you have a couple of guys that don't get through, it could be some big twists.
Could be big.
But yeah, so if you've not listened or if you've not heard me do this before, I kind of delve into the data and look at the trends of previous winners of the majors of the 4 majors of the year. I love this stuff. I nerd out on it. I love data. I love analytics. So this is perfect for me.
What if I can find it on here? Go on.
One of the first things I always like to do is look at the world rankings, more specifically Data Golf do their own rankings, which with Liv that hasn't, obviously not been involved in world rankings, is a little bit harder to kind of work out who's where. So out of the last 12 winners, 9 of them have come within the top 23 in the world. So it's clearly, again, another event, as you'd imagine, the majors that bring out the best players. Mm-hmm. With that being the case, I have taken the Data Golf rankings instead of the Fish Golf World rankings that bring in the live players. So the ones that are in there are Neiman, Hatton, DeChambeau, and Rahm are the only 4. There you go. So
Brooks is in.
no Brooks. No Brooks yet. Which, I'll be honest with you, I wanted to add him. And I think there's a precursor to all of this is like just write his name in pencil at the bottom of any of this because it's literally his event.
Yeah.
But he wasn't there. I was quite surprised.
That is odd.
So let me get this
Yeah, hold on.
straight.
Yeah, I know.
You are already eliminating Brooks Koepka.
Yes, I am.
Not even in the initial
And
pool.
he's in my team. I picked him.
Wow.
That sucks for you.
But don't hear what I'm not saying. You know what I mean?
Don't hear what I'm not saying.
Like, I'm not saying that he's not going to win, but he's not in the trends. I'm just going off this.
Okay.
I can't. If I started, moving it around, it wouldn't be fair. So, as I mentioned earlier on, one of the biggest things of winning around a PGA Championship venue is driving distance. So, since 2011, only 2 players have won averaging less than 301 yards off the tee.
301.
301, and that's their season's average of driving distance. Usually, kind of within the sort of 30th or 30th or above on the tour. Now, those 2 years that was Morikawa at TPC Harding Park, and it was Duffner at Oak Hill
Duffner.
That's too stinky,
in
mate.
2013. Both of them, I think they only played about 7-2, which for a PGA Championship course is very different. So I'm not too worried about those. So, with that taken into effect,
So many computers on this table, by the way.
with that taken into effect, that leaves you Xander Schauffele, Ludwig Oberg, Rory McIlroy, John Rahm, Joaquin Neiman, Tyrrell Hatton, Wyndham Clark, Bryson DeChambeau, and Justin Thomas.
Justin Thomas.
9 people left.
Bruh,
So,
get a grip.
one of the biggest things about winning at a US PGA Championship is winning that year. Very important. 7 of the last 10 have won silverware or banked some silverware in that season prior to that win. So, with that being the case, of those 9 guys that whack it miles, there's only 2 people that have won this year. One of them being Mr. Rory McIlroy.
Come on, Rosa.
And the other one being Neiman. Now, if you listened to my predictions last time, Neiman was there. Am I going to go back to back? Who knows? Let's wait and see.
Back to back with Neiman.
One of the other biggest things about winning a US PGA Championship is having major form coming into the event.
Yeah.
And 7 of the last 10 champions have posted a top 10 finish in the previous 2 majors. So as we stand with this newer, US not in August now, that gives us the Masters and it gives us the Open. Now, if you cast your mind back to Royal Liverpool, Rory finished T6 at the Open. And Joaquin Niemann has not had a top 10 finish. So I'm putting the heebie-jeebies on him and I'm confirming that Rory McIlroy is going to go 3 wins in a row. He's going to do his best Scotty Scheffler, Nelly Corda impression and win multiple times back to back to back.
Wow.
You've heard it here first.
I would love for it to happen. I've been notoriously down on Rory because it's like unfulfilled potential is like so hard to watch. Like he's had the potential to just go and win every tournament. But
Yep. Now,
very interesting.
If you've got any comments, please comment.
I mean, it's a big call to not have Brooks and Scotty.
Oh, absolutely. This is the problem. I think I've always sort of mentioned as well with Scotty is like, if he putts well, he's probably going to win.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be boring. I don't want to just keep saying his name every time. Maybe Rory's boring. I don't know. But they're going to be up there. Brooks is going to do well. I will say this, if Brooks was within those Data Golf and Official Golf World rankings, he would have got all the way to the bottom as well.
Yeah. So did you do a version of this where you included him and he ended up?
I did. So basically, yeah. So I did a version, as you said.
Yeah.
Brooks won because I took the finishes for the last majors as well and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And the next factor and one of the biggest factors, and I have an outside bet that I want to bring up as well around this, is the US PGA Championship is a big home favourite major. 8 of the last 10 winners have come from the United States, which is what Koepka won over Rory McIlroy. So it's not, there's a reason why he's third favourite in the betting market. It's pretty obvious why that's the case. I'm not going to write him off. He literally just won on Live. He's teasing to go and win it again.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, for my major picks, it'll be great if he wins because I'll get a nice little 1 next to his name.
I mean, if Rory wins, that's great for me. So
there you go.
I mean, I'll be happy with it. Just Brooks in the PGA Championship, he just loves that big trophy.
Because he's the only one that can pick it up.
Yeah.
Maybe Rory, but he might need a bit of help.
No, he's
Someone's as big as him.
Rory's hench.
Yeah, but he's teeny tiny.
Yeah. Now I didn't know this. Rory's the same height as Kieran.
Yeah, he's so small.
That's baffling.
And Kieran's teeny tiny.
Kieran's like that big. Put him in his pocket. By the time I was 12, I could pick him up and put him on the shelf. That might be our first film reference of the entire episode, and it was Hagrid.
We had to do one.
Yeah, we had to chop one in.
No, I did mention that I'll give you an outsider bet. It's, I quite like it. 150 to 1 is kind of where he's sat at the minute. US PGA Championship has been notoriously over the years somewhere that not only do first-time majors win, but also younger guys. I think last 9 winners out of the last 12 or something like that have all been under the age of 31, which knocks Rory and Koepka straight out of it.
Yeah.
Brooks should have been too old last year. That didn't count. He was not allowed, but he was one of them that won. They have had 7 of the last 12 winners have had at least 1 win that year, as I mentioned before.
Yeah.
They have been American, 8 of the last 10, and they've had 11 of the last 12 winners have had at least 3 top 10s that season as well. Someone who knocks...
Who the heck is that then?
Someone who knocks all of this off. The only thing he doesn't knock is the fact that he's not in the top 23 of the world. 150 to 1. If you fancy a little outside bet, see what happens. Jake Knapp. There you go.
Wow.
Yeah. And he gets it out there as well.
If this comes off, that is the most outrageous call.
Well, there you go. I would rather say it than not.
I mean, not like outrageous in the sense that he's come from nowhere. Obviously, a very good player.
Yeah.
But to get that would be way better than Brian Harman.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, that'd be new. That'd be next level.
He's 29th in driver distance as well. He averages 307 yards off the tee.
Yeah, he hits it.
So
far.
he gets it out there despite swinging it about 2 miles an hour.
He has the slowest, fastest swing I've ever seen in my life.
Have you seen the Asian guy who hits on that driving range on TikTok? Who has the really slow, smooth, like doesn't turn until the ball's already landed type job.
Yeah,
that's what that feels like. Like
All for show, mate.
It's crazy.
Yeah. But that's what it's swing. And he does it on the PGA Tour. So it clearly works.
He does. You're right.
It's all for show.
What are you got your laptop out?
Yeah.
You logged on. What is he doing?
So if you have been following the podcast since the majors from last year, you will know that basically we do a draft of players and then we watch those players suck for the entire year and hope that they don't suck so bad that you have to refill the food cupboard at the office, which is what I had to do when my team from last year
Sucked.
It sucked really hard. Last year I had Fitzpatrick, Morikawa, Matsuyama. Traded out.
Some of those names have not been picked this year.
Not great. So I lost last year. How the game works is that you pick 4 people. One of those people has to be outside of the top 50. We actually did go for the OWGR on the top 50, which means that you are allowed to have some live players who had more potential than their ranking warranted. It came down to the teams being mixed team, Scheffler, Cantlay, Fitzpatrick, Neiman. Neiman being my wild card. Made sure I got him very early. Peter Finch, McIlroy, Clark, Zalatoris, and Maronk. Go Maronk. Maronk is Pete's wild card. Kieran Mulhall, Rahm, Schauffele, Matsuyama, Dustin Johnson.
Okay.
Again, there's a theme with the wild card players. They seem to all be from a different tour. Jacob Broadbridge, Koepka, Hovland, Oberg, Cam Smith. Current standings in tied third and or last, Pete and Kieran. Pete had a terrible Masters. McIlroy 22, Clark didn't make the cut. Zalatoris 9, Maronk didn't make the cut.
I mean, I didn't have terrible Masters. My team didn't do me any favors.
How did you play at the Masters?
I was pretty good. Level par.
Tied first.
Yeah.
Liverpool. Tied with 3 other people.
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on. Sorry.
Yeah, Kieran didn't have a great Masters either. Rahm 45, didn't show up to defend his title really. Schauffele had a really good tournament. Matsuyama played okay. Dustin Johnson didn't make the cut. So you get, if you don't make the cut, if one of your players doesn't make the cut, you get the same amount of points as players who made the cut. So 60 people made the cut at the Masters. Therefore, if your player didn't, you get 60 points. You're trying to get as few points as possible. Peter Finch and Kieran Mulhall, 151 from the first tournament of the year.
Stinks.
It's a little stinky. Winning numbers last year. Jacob won 419. So you're stepping on that already, which is a bit of a problem. In second place, Jacob Broadbridge.
Thank you.
Koepka 45th. Didn't have the tournament we expected him to have at the Masters.
He didn't, no.
But hopefully going into the PGA is going to make that turnaround. Hovland, woeful, terrible Masters. Too much swing change, too much thought, terrible outfit. Do better.
Anything else?
Oberg and Smith.
Oh yeah, they did okay.
Excellent, 2 and 6.
Yes.
So great work there. You're on 113.
Yeah, again, a little bit too further forward than I want to be right now, but hopefully, if everyone wins, or
everyone wins
from now on.
It's actually not physically possible.
It's not how it works.
I actually had Peter Finch as my wild card, so he gets 1 point right.
We should do this for the PGA Lancs next year.
Shotgun Phil Kelly.
Yeah, Shotgun Dave Shatland.
I'm winning. Listen, it's not even close at this point. Because Scheffler, he won the tournament. That was pretty obvious. Cantlay, Fitzpatrick, and Neiman all T22. So I'm on 67 points. How are we feeling about the players that you have going into the PGA?
Great.
Yeah?
No, I feel good. I don't love Hovland. I love him as a guy. I love him as a player. I think he will come good again. But why on earth he decided to change everything about his golf swing when he was playing so well last year and won the FedEx Cup, I will never know.
Why do people do that?
I mean, if you're an elite level golfer like
You are.
Hovland is, and you do want to make a change, it would be for something quite specific. But to be honest with Hovland, it was a bit of a head scratcher because he seemed to be doing everything right.
Yeah.
Like his short game, massive improvements. He's striping it with the full swing. He kind of had the whole round package. He realistically, with a couple of better breaks, he would have won the USPJ last year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, didn't you get a dodgy call in a bunker or something?
he just got unlucky. He just couldn't get out of it. But for me, I can't particularly understand why he started to make those changes, but he knows what he's doing with his game.
And he's not on
gotta
your
trust
team,
him.
so you don't have to worry about it.
Exactly. I mean, my team, McIlroy great, Clark, I think is going to kind of have a bounce back. Zalatoris, obviously major specialist. It's just my boy Morong, you know what I mean? It's an emotional pick.
Now Zalatoris did have a withdrawal from a tournament recently, didn't he? Because his back flared up again. Are you not worried about that?
Nah, it's weeks ago, mate. Don't you worry about that. He also finished 8th at the Masters. 9th.
It says it right there.
finished
I
ninth.
thought I'd got it wrong, but there's no way that I got
He
it wrong.
played at Wells Fargo. He got 4 rounds in.
Yeah, the
He'll be okay.
So listen, like, just
I
trust
just
in
want
the team.
listen. Yeah, someone had him. Kieran had him last year, and before the Masters, he pulled out of the entire season. So I don't want you to fall into that same trap.
Kieran picked him, though, just after he had his surgery.
Yeah.
That's a very stinky pick. However,
That was the all-time stinky pick.
yeah, we'll go through Kieran's because he's not here. We'll go through them for him. Rahm,
Yeah.
Nah.
Schauffele.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's going to
he ain't going to win, but he'll be up there.
Yeah, probably he might win the first 3 rounds.
But if he gets single digits, that's great.
Yeah. Matsuyama also injured. Now, I looked up this situation on the way here. Matsuyama has I think a back injury. His return date is the first round of the PGA.
Cool.
So things, it's going to be a close call. It's going to be like a let's hope it's a Danny Willett situation where he is ludicrously injured and then comes back and just shoots the lights out. It could happen.
Beware the injured golfer. It's always been the same.
Yeah. And then Dustin Johnson, I think that's a stinky pick, but he had few options down that far down the
He
line.
had a poor Masters.
Yeah.
Didn't make a single birdie. Don't think.
What?
Yeah. Not good.
That's not great.
No pies for him.
I think even I'd have made a birdie right
Yeah. On those par 5s.
What holes are you birdieing?
there. 139.
And 10 to 18 is horrible. Is that the...
Yeah, I mean, 10 to 18, I've always struggled.
Yeah. You're a front 9 player.
I'm a front 9 player at the Masters.
Despite today shooting worse on the front than the back.
Yeah, but it's not Augusta out there, is it?
That's true.
You know what I mean? It's a different course, different horses for different courses.
Yeah. Harder test.
I always struggle around back 9 at Augusta.
Yeah.
But front 9 here is a trouble.
Doesn't blow around Augusta like here, does it?
No, sir. No, it doesn't. You don't
The
get
glare off the river wire.
yeah, you don't get a view out to the channel from there, do you?
Yeah.
God's sake.
We
haven't done mine.
Oh my god,
Scheffler,
Jesus!
definite win. Cantlay, he's very boring, but hopefully he'll finish near the top. Fitzpatrick, I'm a bit worried. Neiman, now that Jacob has said he's possibly going to win it, I'm feeling quite good about. No one's got Jake Knapp, so if Jake Knapp wins it, we all lose.
Listen,
if Jake Knapp wins it, I don't even know what I'm going to do.
I think you have a perfectly acceptable team there, Mick. But there's only been one major.
Yeah, there's still time.
Early days.
They're coming thick and fast now, innit? I literally feel like we sat and finished the Masters and then 4 weeks has gone and we're back into it again. I love it.
There's a lot which is wrong with the professional game, but the way that they restructured the majors is actually really good.
Yeah.
Like to have them a month apart.
Yeah.
It makes so much
Absolutely.
more sense.
And
So-
the Open to finish as well.
Yeah.
That's the last one.
The only real tournament in the entire calendar.
Because having the USPJ, that was the stinky one right at the end when it to finish with the Open, an actual proper major. That's what we want to see.
tournament.
So,
Proper golf.
on that positive note, it is time to say goodbye. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for spending your time with us wherever you may be in the world. It is Major Week. I hope you have a wonderful time. Get some cold ones in the fridge. Get some takeaway food in, and just have the most exceptional USPG ever.
Can't wait. Let's do it.
See you next time.